Hello, welcome back. Here is the linear algebra introduction with the real world stock market example. Algebra means roughly relationship, and the linear algebra means line-like relationship. When we mean take operations, operation is nothing but a calculation based on some inputs. For example, if I take the function f of x, y, z as 3x plus 4y plus 5z, my input is the variables x, y, z. For different variables x, y, z, when I operate using the function f, my ultimate result, my output will be 3x plus 4y plus 5z. The same way, if I take g of x by z as 3x plus 0y plus 0z for different values of x, y, z, when I use this operator g, my ultimate output will be 3x. So these are all linear equations. We can also use the input-output operation model like the diagram what we see here. In the first one, we have various inputs. They are taken into some operations or productions, and then we get the output. Or we can also think as if we are pouring all this data or the inputs into a machine, and whatever comes out of the machine is my output. So in our case, when we took the function capital F and capital G, my inputs are the variables x, y, z or a, b, c. I can take the two inputs as in a matrix form, and also I can take the operations m as 3, 4, 5 or 3, 0, 0. So a matrix is a single variable representing spreadsheet of inputs or operations. Since there are inputs and outputs, we can take the inputs as A and the outputs as B. We can call that as the matrix A and matrix B. When I use the operation matrix M on that is 3, 4, 5, 3, 0, 0 on this matrix AX, ABC, XYZ, we will get the ultimate matrix whatever is shown here. This is the usual mathematical explanation for these linear algebra combinations of inputs and output model. Now, let us make use of the same output model and then explain that in the stock market portfolio. You know that portfolio is a grouping of financial assets such as stocks, bonds, commodities, currencies, cash equivalents. Usually these are held directly by investors and are managed by financial professionals or managers. So let us see how to make use of our linear algebra in stock market portfolios. So let us take a non-vector example here. We are not going to use the vector notations whatever we use in mathematical representation. Maybe we will use a different notation here. So let's practice the linear algebra in the real world. My first input data must be selected. Let us select the input data as the stock portfolios with dollars in Apple, Google, and Microsoft stock. The second one is the operations that can be the changes in the company values after certain news events. Maybe let's take this COVID-19 incident. And the third one is the output, which is the updated portfolio. So when we do the output, which is the updated portfolio, we are not only interested in the new values for Apple, Google, and Microsoft portfolios. We are also interested in the bonus output, which is my profit and loss due to this event. So in order to get the profit or loss output value, let us make use of the linear algebra matrices instead of the spreadsheet. So first I need the input vector. The input vector is the dollar amount in Apple, Google, and Microsoft stock market. And here let us use the two names commonly used placeholders. Placeholder names Alice and Bob. So the input vector will be Alice and Bob's portfolio in these three stock values, that is Apple, Google, and Microsoft. And we need 4 output operations. That is, let us take the updated Apple value due to that event, whichever event it is, an updated Google value, updated Microsoft value. Apart from these three, we also should have a relation connecting the values and the current event and the profit. If we are interested in finding the profit and loss, we should know a relation connecting this. So we should compute the profit also. Then the output vector will be not only these three, the values, the new value for Apple, Google, and Microsoft stock, but also you will have the profit or loss values. So this, the ultimate thing, whatever you get, the output vector will be the Alice Bob's new portfolio values along with the profit or loss. So when an I device is launched, we can see the stock values for the corresponding stock symbols. So let's use the stock symbols for Apple, which is AAPL. The stock symbol for Google is Google, or they use Google and Google. Google is no voting right, and I think Google has got voting right. Then Microsoft is MSFT. And we all know that the profit is usually denoted by the symbol pi or P. So this is our linear algebra model for the stock example. We have the Alice and Bob's portfolio. So this first one is the Alice's Apple stock value portfolio value, Google's value, and the Microsoft value. This is for Alice. And the second one is for Bob. So this is my input, this whole thing, this is my input matrix. So I use my input matrix and use this operation matrix. The operation matrix is nothing but the adjusted value for AAPL, adjusted value for Google, adjusted value for Microsoft, and then also I have to compute a profit loss equation. That is my input operation matrix, and then my output will be, the final output will be the values, the new values for Bob and Alice. So this one, the first one is Alice's value, and the second one is for Bob. So we need a relation connecting this. So let us see how to get the values, the input values, operations, and the output. So using a secret I device, let us assume that we got the following. So the things whatever we have here, Apple jumps to 20%, Google drops 5%, and Microsoft stays the same, is just an assumption. So with this assumption, let us see what the profit is going to be. So the profit will be 0.20 times whatever portfolio they have in Apple, plus negative 0.05 times whatever portfolio they have in Google, since Microsoft stays the same, plus 0 times the things in Microsoft. So the operation matrix will be this 1.200, 0.950, 001, 0.20, negative 0.05, 0. The first one will be the new Apple value here. This is the new Google, new Microsoft, and total profit. So in this we have got 3 inputs and 4 outputs. Let the input portfolio for Alice be 1000, 1000, 1000. In other words, we assume that Alice has got $1,000 worth of portfolio there in Apple, $1,000 worth of portfolio in for Google, and $1,000 worth for Microsoft. For Bob, it is $500, $2,000, and $500 respectively. So in using this as the input, we can construct the input matrix. The first one is my input matrix, and this is my operation matrix. So we can multiply these two. The product of these two will give me the output matrix. This is my output matrix. This is my input, and this is my operation matrix. You can use your graphing calculator to find the product easily, and then you get the product as the matrix 1200, 600, 950, 1900, 10, 1000, 500, 150, and 0. So since this output matrix is 1200, 600, 950, 1900, 1000, 500, and 150, 0, this implies that Alice has got 1200 in Apple, 950 in Google, 1000 in Microsoft, and 150 as the net profit. And Bob has got 600 in Apple, 1900 in Google, 500 in Microsoft, and 0 as net profit. So what we did so far is we used linear algebra to solve problems in stock market. In fact, we were doing math for the stock market using linear algebra. We all should recollect that linear algebra was published as theory of extension by Herman in 1844, whereas the spreadsheet was invented only in 1980. But still, we prefer using spreadsheet instead of linear algebra. Remember that linear algebra was the basis for getting all the spreadsheet results in Microsoft during this year 1980. So in this video, we were seeing a stock example and applied linear algebra to calculate those results. Hope the explanations were clear and hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. Thank you.